What is Chhattisgarh vaccination policy? Why is it being opposed in court? One of the interventions was filed by the Janta Congress chief Amit Jogi against the state's decision to administer the vaccines based on the economic situation of the citizens. On Tuesday, the Chhattisgarh High Court heard intervention applications filed by politicians and lawyers against the state government's vaccination policy. One of the interventions was filed by Janta Congress Chhattisgarh head Amit Jogi, who is the son of former Chief Minister Ajit Jogi, against the state decision to administer the vaccines based on economic situation of the citizens. The bench of the High Court took objections to the state's vaccination policy. Jogi, who is the son of former Chief Minister late Ajit Jogi, against the state decision to administer the vaccine based on the economic situation of the citizens. The bench of the High Court took objections to the state's vaccination policy, raised some questions and advised the state to make some changes before adjourning the matter to May 7. So what is Chhattisgarh vaccination policy? The State Health Department on April 30 issued a circular through Renu G. Pillai, Additional Chief Secretary, then posted with the Health Department to all the district collectors, informing them that due to the limited numbers of vaccine available to the state, vaccinations of people between 18 to 44 years of age would be held in 3 stages. Firstly, Antodaya card holders had to be vaccinated, followed by BPL card holders, and then APL card holders. The circular clarified the first phase only the Antodaya card holders will be vaccinated, and only they should be registered through the co-win portal. The circular also stated that not more than 2 vaccination centers are to be opened per block to ensure the COVID appropriate behavior is followed. How many vaccine doses does Chhattisgarh have for the first round of the vaccines? After much confusion, the state received 1.5 lakh vaccines on May 1, distributed 800 doses across blocks, and 14 municipalities received 2,300 doses each. The state also ordered 25 lakh each from Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech each, which it will start getting from May end, official state. How many are to be vaccinated across the state in the 18 to 44 age group? How many will be vaccinated in the first round? Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, while speaking to the press, said that 43% of the population of the state, which is 1.2 crore, will be vaccinated. However, the state has around 14 lakh Antodaya cards holders and around 42 lakh beneficiaries. So who is Antodaya card holder? Antodaya Anna Yojana was a union government scheme in which the poorest of the poor were identified and given a yellow ration card, which indicated that they were to be given rice, wheat, and other ration items at heavily subsidized rates. Families with annual income less than 15,000, senior citizens with no support, widows, and unemployed persons also fall in this category. So what are the points raised against the state's vaccination policy? The common case of intervention is that the above subclassification is beyond the constitutional mandate and is patently in violation of the law of equality and the equal opportunity before law, besides discriminating citizens with reference to the right to life. According to former MLA Amit Jogi, the decision is not based on science and is completely arbitrary. The entire world is following the concept of triage to provide vaccines to those who are vulnerable and have comorbidities. The decision of the state government is not only unscientific but also against the constitution, Jogi said. Another intervener, advocate Kishore Bhadoria, who applied along with his son Sabyasachi Bhaduri, in his application stated that despite registering through the union government's co-win application, they were denied vaccination. The department had arbitrarily introduced class income-based classification for administering the vaccine. They said classification has no nexus with the object sought to be achieved by implementing the same. His application read, citing right to life and right to uniform access to health care, Bhaduri prayed that the state's decision of subclassification be quashed. What were High Court's objections to the state's policy? The High Court bench of Chief Justice P.R. Ramachandra Menon and Justice P.P. Sahu, while mentioning to the intervener, discounted their proposal of first income, first serve for the vaccination. The court, commenting on the hardship faced by the poorest of the poor regarding lack of awareness, education, access to internet, smartphone, said that even registration for the vaccine is difficult for the poor, virtually making it detrimental to the right and interest of the children of the lesser God. It further added, if any steps are taken by the state government to have the benefit extended to such people as well, the object cannot be doubted. But such step has necessarily to be in conformity with the constitutional mandate and in tune with the guidelines issued by the central government at the national level. Prima facie subclassification with a reference to the financial status alone as now not to be correct or substantial. The bench also commented that absolutely no reference has been made in the circular issued on April 30 therein to policy decision, if any, taken by the government. Policy of the government has to be on the basis of deliberation in the cabinet. So what are the questions raised by the High Court or the state's vaccination policy? The High Court bench raised 6 questions in their order dated May 4. The bench asked if the state had any power to tinker with the central government and vaccination policy. If yes, it can be regarded as a policy decision. The bench also inquired about the legality of the subclassification. Commenting on the spread of the second wave, the court asked it would be prudent to procure more vaccines and administer them at the earliest, and asked the government to relook the policy for the third phase. If any priority is to be taken for vaccination by effecting subclassification, it is not necessary to have it with reference to the areas where maximum spread of the disease is located, or with reference to the population, or the chance to get infected more with reference to any particular place or area or group where more vulnerable people work, reside, and the chance to get infected, the bench asked. So what did the state say in this matter? The Advocate General submitted that there was a serious lapse on the part of the central government which did not provide the state with enough vaccines necessitating a subclassification, particularly since the Antodaya group, who are residing mostly in the remote areas and who are rather illiterate or not knowing anything much about the COVID-19 pandemic symptoms, complications, necessity to register in the portal, and as to the infrastructure, are moving around quite free, which spreads the disease much faster. The case is almost similar in the case of the below poverty line group as well, and hence there is rationale in the subclassification of persons in the age group of 18 to 44. So what did the High Court ask the state to do next? The High Court posted the matter to the further consideration of May 7 after asking the state to fix a reasonable ratio of allotment of vaccine. The order stated a scheme has to be formulated by the state by earmarking appropriate share of the vaccines to them, as well as set up help desk, provide spot registration, and to administer vaccines to them without compromising the right of the other segments who are entitled to have equal treatment with regard to the right to life. In the said circumstances, a viable approach, we are of the view the state government shall fix a reasonable ratio of allotment of vaccines to the Antodaya group, the persons belonging to the below poverty line and the persons belonging to the above poverty line, with reference to all the relevant aspects including the vulnerability, chances to spread the disease, and the number of eligible persons in the group. Accordingly, we direct the state government to have a discussion of the secretaries and the relevant departments at the higher level and to fix the ratio as the above and distribute the vaccines in the third phase of the vaccination for the age group above is 18 and below 45 years in an equitable manner. Thank you. Card holders and the